Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Guiltrip. Now, I was planning to wait until we had actually gotten a subbed version of this episode, but I can't seem to find it. even though people are saying, here's the subbed version, and I'm just like, this isn't subbed. I don't know. There's a lot to it, and I'm not going to get into all of that right now, but the point is that the episode has been out, and honestly, it was really fun to watch the episode. But it also was kind of surprising that I was wrong, to a degree. Like I kind of figured, there is still a little bit of a connection between Rose and Julika that is the reason why Julika gets akumatized. But on top of that, Julika is it's odd, to say the least. I'll get into that in a little bit, but needless to say, it was odd. On top of the fact, I'm apparently wrong about what exactly the pig's power is. I was honestly expecting it to have something to do with scent, while in actuality, it's giving people presents, basically showing them something that will bring them joy. And I honestly still find that really interesting, but it's also really connected to who Rose is as a person. And like I said, it's interesting. But we should actually start at the beginning of the episode. Starting off with the fact that for some reason, while they're taking a test, suddenly Rose gets this really powerful headache, which, as someone who gets migraines, small migraines, but still migraines, I can completely understand. And it gets to the point where she has to actually go to the hospital because of it. And honestly, it's not that surprising. As someone who deals with issues similar to that, not actually me personally, but my mom deals with it, I can actually understand a lot of what's going on. As far as I'm aware, no one has actually said what disease she has, but for some reason, she is dealing with it, and she's dealt with it with really well by showing joy. Honestly, there is a problem with that, but if she can actually handle it, then if that's the best way that she can figure out to handle it, then that's good. But at the same time, if she's struggling, she needs to tell someone about it, which, yeah, that's gonna be fun to talk about. But basically, Rose goes to the hospital. There's a whole bunch of other things that I'm just like, something just doesn't feel right here. I feel like something is going on here between Marinette and Adrian. The thing is that they're kind of back to that situation where Marinette is kind of just constantly crushing on Adrian, but at the same time, there's something more to it. And it's rather odd, to say the least, how she is kind of crushing on him. But also Adrian's reactions to her. It's not necessarily, like, his normal way. Basically, he's able to catch her. He understands that how clumsy she is, and he catches her immediately. There's a lot of aspects to that. And some people are saying that they're dating now, which wait, what? I mean, it would make sense, but at the same time, it's like, that early just feels off. I don't know. We're not going to get into that right now. But the two of them go off. They help Julika, who tells everyone that Rose is sick. And then the next day, everyone starts freaking out, even when they find out that what exactly is going on. And Rose finds out that they understand what's going on. And even though she tells them not to worry, she can handle it, don't worry about it, everyone is still freaking out to the point that Julica is just like, okay, that's it, I'm done, I feel guilty for everything that I've done, runs off to the bathroom, and becomes Reflecta, and Hawkmoth also creates Guiltrip, which is honestly really sad that she feels so guilty that she would rather be swallowed up by Guiltrip than anything else. It's sad, to say the least. But everyone follows her and tries to console her, but unfortunately, Guiltrip has, well, absorbed her and absorbs everyone else, turning everyone except for Marinette, Adrian, and Rose into Reflectas. And there's a lot that goes on there. It's actually really interesting. And Cat Noir he is struggling. Oh my gosh, he feels guilty a lot more than even Marinette does. Marinette is able to, she almost gets reflected once, but then everyone else, but then there's Adrian, who is constantly just struggling, and it's kind of scary. I think part of the reason why Marinette is able to handle it so much better is because of the fact that she has someone. She knows that she has someone that she can depend on now. While Adrian kind of still doesn't. As far as we're aware, he still hasn't told Nino anything about him. And from what a lot of people are saying, as well as I kind of understand, is that Nino is the reason that Cat Noir feels guilty, because he can't tell his best friend that it's not his fault that everything that's going on with him. So, yeah, it's interesting to say the least. And in order to actually save everyone, Rose, who is unaffected by the guilt trip, is able to help everyone by getting the pig Miraculous, while also just sharing her joy with Marinette and Adrian. It's heartwarming to know that she is honestly a really great hero. And the two of them, or I guess the three of them, work their way through the entire guilt trip until they eventually reach Reflecta, the true Reflecta, Julica, and in order to save her, she shows her joy. She gives her a present, and it brings her so much joy and happiness that they're able to easily break the akumatized object, and free her from this torment. And after that, they have to escape, which is also a bit interesting to see that, unlike previous times, the Reflectas are actually working for the Centimonster, which, yeah, that's interesting to say the least. Actually fighting and acting like Reflecta. It's interesting, to say the least. And, like I said, they escape. Marinette breaks everything, breaks the Centimonster object, restores everything back to normal, and everything is peachy and keen. And then frickin' Rose just proves once again that she is a true hero, because in the moments after they escape, she runs off, detransforms, takes off the ankle bracelet, hides it in her hand, returns as Rose to the rest of the group. Keep in mind, this is all happening while everyone's being turned back to normal, while the ladybugs are flying off. She puts the item back in her hand and subtly hands it off to Ladybug without anyone noticing except Ladybug. And even to the point where at the end of the episode, Cat Noir is like, hey, why didn't you get the Miraculous back from her? And she just turns around and says, I already did. And it's so interesting. There's so much to it, and it was honestly an amazing episode. And like I said, I honestly just love this whole situation. Everything that has been happening in the past while in this series has honestly just been so amazing. Even though I'm pissed, along with everyone else, that they're not airing the episodes in chronological order, I don't necessarily think that that's the biggest issue. Luckily, we're going to be getting episode 4 very soon, and more than likely we'll be getting 5, 7, and then the others pretty soon after that. Except for the fact that frickin' episode 13 has been announced, which I'm really intrigued to see what exactly is going on there, and we will be talking about that when we get closer to that episode. So, yeah. Actually, I will be doing a plot theory very soon on that episode. But now let's actually talk about what happened with me being wrong and stuff. Like I said in my plot theory, I was thinking that for some reason, something was going on between Rose and Juleka. Basically that Rose didn't reciprocate Juleka's feelings or whatever. And they did a really good job not showing that that was what was going on in the trailers. But at the same time, it's kind of odd. A lot of the different things that we see throughout the episode feel like that was the original intention. Like they originally intended for Rose and Juleka to talk about their feelings at some point during the episode. But for some reason they didn't. Obviously there was that whole situation with the hospital and stuff, but it was honestly really odd. And I think that the reason for why they didn't include that was because of censorship. Which, big spoiler alert, censorship really sucks. Basically because of the fact that so many countries still do not like the LGBT community at all, and refuse to let them, which includes China, by the way, it kind of makes sense, at least a little bit, why they wouldn't be showing that stuff. In order to basically prevent China or whatever countries to just be like, nope, we're not going to air your episodes ever again. And on top of the fact that rather recently, they are able to air these episodes in Arab nations, which is kind of, it's good for the show, but at the same time it means that they can't really go into a lot of the things that it looks like they wanted to go into. And it's rather sad, to say the least. I'm straight. Let me just make that clear. But I have friends who have dealt with a lot of problems because of being in the LGBT community. And it's hard on them. I know how hard it is on them. I was in the group that hated the LGBT community for a while. And thanks to them as well as other things, I've grown into a much better person. But the fact is that a lot of that is due to shows like Miraculous, like Steven Universe. And I think that these shows need to at least have some, at least little bit representation. Obviously, I don't like shows that go overboard with it, like Batwoman or frickin' She-Ra. Because, let's be honest, those shows are preachy. They are very preachy. I wouldn't even like shows that were overly preachy about other aspects, even aspects that I agree with. Because, let's be honest, I understand that people would absolutely hate them. But at the same time, I think that it is important that these messages get out there and that people understand that these people are just people. They just think slightly different from the rest of us. And that's okay. And it's sad that they don't actually get as much representation as a lot of these creators would like to do, because they know that if they do actually show these things, then they're going to either be censored or their show is going to be completely removed from the country because the government hates these things. And like I said, it can be sad and a bit annoying, to say the least. But that's up to them. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see exactly what they're going to be doing with this series moving forward. And also, one more thing before I actually sign off for this episode. I actually plan to be doing a little video before too long with Captain Jack to actually start discussing Miraculous, as this is going to be her first time watching all the way through very soon. So look forward to seeing that video. I'm not exactly certain when it's going to be, but it should be coming soon. So yeah, look forward to seeing that, as well as all of the other episodes. Like I said, the Optigami, I believe, is the next episode that has a plot video that I need to make. So look forward to that plot video, as well as I think I still need to do Gabriel Agrest as a plot video. So look forward to that. And I also am planning to do something with Mr. Pigeon 72. So, like I said, look forward to all of that and get excited to see more of Miraculous moving forward and more from the rest of these amazing shows. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure to leave a like, leave your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. If you are going to leave a theory, make sure to say theory review somewhere in your comments so we can talk about it in a future video. Of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and ring that notification bell, because it really does help us out a lot more than you may think. And of course, if you do want to support the channel even more, then definitely head down to the description and check out all of our links down there, including our social medias, our other channels, and ways you can support us financially, including the merch store, the book, and of course the Patreon, which of course a big thank you to our current patron, Sheeny. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on